It's time for Ohio State basketball. The Buckeyes are preparing for battle, and you're preparing to listen to them. Equally important, this is Fan Warmup.
Happy Sunday, everyone. Brandon Beam here. Quick turnaround from the Buckeyes bashing of UCLA last night, 48-10 on the football field. Hopefully, it's a similar situation today on the basketball court. We got Ron Stokes coming up here from the shot just a little bit. Buckeyes 3-0 on the season. Notre Dame 3-0 as well. One of those O's have to go. So we'll see what happens today over at the shot. Again, 12:30 tip-off. I was just listening to Scotty and Dave, of course, on the money. Great show that they put on. And, the spread is interesting, right? I mean, it was 8.5 here early this morning. It jumped to 9.5. I don't know if you can take anything away from what Notre Dame has done early in the season. I'm not sure if you can take away. I mean, obviously we can because we're watching and we're dissecting every possession of Ohio State basketball. But yeah, this is the first, I don't want to say real test of the season, but it's definitely a bigger test than what they have had so far. Reimer, happy Sunday to you.
Happy to you as well, Beam. But yeah, I think it's a game you got to have. Major NCAA tournament implications on it for both teams wanting to get back to the NCAA tournament. Yeah. And this is a big one for sure.
Absolutely it is. Again, Devin Royal missed the last game. See what happens a little bit later today over at the shot. Would imagine that he's going to be good to go. What about the emergence of Brandon Knoll? I know it's only been 3 games. We do have a short sample size. We're actually 10% of the way through the regular season, all right? You got 30 games that's going on here. So you do the quick math. 3 games gone, 30 games, 10% through the season. What about Brandon Knoll? Here was Jake Diebler after Tuesday's game talking about him and what he brings to the table so far for this Ohio State team.
Yeah, well, he also played really well against Tennessee. And, I think that the one thing he and I have been talking about over the last week and through the first 2 games is be aggressive, play with the physicality, and you can do that off the ball as well with this cutting and going to the glass. I want him, shooting with confidence from 3. I believe in his ability to shoot out there. And so, for us, he's got to be a weapon. I think the best thing he did tonight, though, was on defense. I thought his communication was much improved. He played with more force and physicality on that side, and you see that with his defensive rebounding numbers. But his anticipation on because we put him in a tough spot. We weren't switching, pick and pop big there for the first half, and he got caught a little too deep at times for the return, but he adjusted, he anticipated better, and I thought defensively was just as good as what the stats say, which is a great sign for us as he continues to improve.
100% it was, and he's been a real nice emergence, again, early on in the season, but I think you can see the ball movement between him and Christoph Tilley so far. Awesome decision, I think, by Jake Diebler. He started Colin White. Shout out to Ottawa Glandorf, a lot of people and friends and family coming down for the last game for Colin. Had a nice game as well for Colin White, and here was Jake Diebler a little bit earlier in the week on him.
It's been a roller coaster of really about, coming up on 12 months for him. And I get to see the time he puts in every single day to give himself a chance to even practice. Now, the exciting thing for us is he's been more consistent lately and had 2 great days of prep. So I felt he earned the right to play well. For us, part of him representing the toughness and the winning over everything that we talk about every single day was part of why he started. The other part is I think early on in the season when you're trying to establish some substitution patterns and somewhat of some consistent rhythm to the game, it made the most sense to put him in so we could still bring Gabe in kind of as that first perimeter player. So those were the two big reasons. Colin earned it, and it's not to say some other guys didn't, but that, combined with trying to establish some consistency with our substitution patterns was the big reason.
Yeah, last game for Colin White. Again, he didn't make a field goal, didn't score any points, but he did get you 18 minutes, 4 rebounds, had 1 foul. But the big thing with him, 0 turnovers. And this Ohio State team was very efficient in their last game with only 4 of them. So if you do that a majority of time, you limit them to single digits, Reimer. Yeah, 4 turnovers in a game, you're likely winning way more than you're losing with that number.
Absolutely, and that's a big key tonight. I think it's been a key the past few seasons with every Ohio State team is just take care of the ball.
Take care of the ball, right? And make your free throws.
Yes.
I think any coach would tell you, if you take care of the ball and you make your free throws, then we're probably going to end up on the winning side. You know what? Let's head out to the shot and check in with our great friend, Ron Stokes.
It's time to go inside the Buckeyes with OSU basketball analyst and former captain Ron Stokes.
Ron, thanks for joining us on this lovely Sunday afternoon in Columbus. Notre Dame in the building. What did you like in the App State game? They got down a little bit early, and then I feel like when they put their foot on the gas pedal, there was no question who was the better team in the building.
Well, first of all, I'm glad you consider me as a good friend, so thank you for that. Well, a little concerned. Obviously, you don't want to be down to a team that, on paper, you would think that you should win the ball game, right? It's a home game. You're going against App State, but you give Appalachian State a lot of credit. They came in. They were prepared. They guarded Ohio State's sets at the top of the key. Clearly, there was a lot of attention on Bruce Thornton because he was at that point he was leading the nation in scoring. So a lot of attention on him. But I thought one of the keys in the game, and we talked about this during the broadcast, was right around that 5-minute mark. Ohio State's down by 9. I'm sorry, they were down by 11, and it was an apparent turnover. Ohio State was able to get it back, and Brandon Knoll knocked down a 3. And then after that, Ohio State finished the half on a 15-2 run to kind of get control of the game. And a lot of that had to do with their stellar defense. And I love to see that. You know, obviously their offense has been really, really good. But to see their defense actually win a game for them, that was a great sign for this team's growth.
Yeah, it was very nice. Checking in with Ron Stokes over at the Shot again. Him and Big Daddy Paul Keels coming up here. 11:45, we got the tip-off against Notre Dame at 12:30. Did you like Colin White's play and Gabe Cupp's play? Because I know there was mix and match. It takes a few games into the season to kind of figure out your bench rotation, and they were kind of thrown into the fire in the third game with Devin being out last game.
Yeah, look, clearly you always got to be ready. I've always said this. I during my career, there was some times where I played that role coming off the bench, and you just got to understand, like, hey, my role at this moment is to come off the bench and give Cup positive minutes. Then if there's an injury or whatever, and now I'm starting, now you have to still go out there and do your job. I thought both of those guys defensively, you mentioned that Colin White didn't score, but he had 4 rebounds, no turnovers. So those were some good signs from both of them. I thought their defense on the perimeter was solid. Big reason why Ohio State was able to, score a bunch of points off turnovers.
Yeah, for sure. What do you like about John Mobley so far this season, Ron? He's been, I don't want to say the most effective player because I think Bruce Thornton has been. First 2 games, I know that Bruce went 13 last game, maybe wasn't as efficient from the field as he would like to be, but it does seem that John Mobley Jr. this year, I don't know if it's another year of just him being in the program, maturing, understanding the flow of the game, the speed of the game, but he's been nothing short of terrific so far early this season, I think.
He's been good. I mean, he's leading the team with in terms of he had assists. He has 5 per game, so he's doing really good. He's been outstanding. I think for the most part, you can see the growth in him. I think the biggest thing that you want to see from John Mobley Jr., and again, I'm a former point guard. Yeah. I want him to continue to be an extension of Jake Diebler out on the floor, where Jake Diebler, like he has a relationship with Bruce Thornton, has that with John Mobley Jr., that you can continue to just know that you basically got 2 point guards out on the floor leading your team. He is going to be a major factor in terms of Ohio State competing for a Big Ten title and also getting into the NCAA tournament.
Ron, I know we got Notre Dame coming up here at 12:30. Are you excited for the return leg next year in South Bend? Excited to get up there?
Absolutely. That'll be fun. But this is a great test, guys. It reminds me a lot of the game at home last year against Pitt, a Pitt team that was kind of like off the radar. And you don't want to lose those types of games because they can be bad losses depending upon what Notre Dame does. Ohio State needs to take care of their business today.
And that loss against Pitt was not only was it a bad loss, it felt bad in the moment, the way that game ended. Ron, always I didn't mean to bring it up, but you mentioned it, so I had to. Ron, always appreciate the time. Have a great call today. Enjoy your Sunday, and we'll check in again on Thursday, all right?
Yeah, go Bucks.
There he goes, Ron Stokes with us here on the pregame show. What about Jake Diebler earlier in the week, missing Devin Royal, how it impacted this team a little bit earlier?
Yeah, if you have followed us closely last year and so far this year, Devin, I mean, even last game, Devin came in, hit 2 big threes, and I got high level trust in him offensively to make something happen for us maybe when we need to stabilize our offense a little bit. So, certainly, missed him out there, but honestly, going into the game, my biggest fear with him not being out there was rebounding. They're really, really good at going to the glass. And so you lose one of your best rebounders. That was the biggest question mark I felt like we had to answer collectively as a team. Offensively, I don't know. I think some of it just was tonight. We just didn't shoot it as well. I think him being out there and there being some just lineup adversity maybe played a small role, but I don't want to put too much into that. I think some of it was their defense, and don't want to discredit that, but also we missed some looks we usually make.
Fighting Irish in town today. If you're wondering about the total series, the cumulative total, Ohio State leads 9-4. And you know what? They've won each of their last 3 meetings. The most recent Notre Dame win actually came in 1973. That was over 52 years ago. Everyone have an awesome Sunday. Buckeye Hoops is up next right here on The Fan.
You've been listening to Fan Warmup. Stay tuned for Buckeye basketball on your flagship home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan.